Hi Capricorn, welcome to February and happy Valentine's Day. This is Teresa from Tarot by T. And so what's coming up this month? We have a full moon in Leo on February 9th. And then Valentine's Day, 2 days later, Mercury goes retrograde on the 16th of February. And it retrogrades through Pisces. And then we have a new moon in Pisces on the 23rd. And Pisces is favorable to your sign. So let's see what the cards say about love and relationships for February 2020. And then we'll get into the astrology later. So what does Capricorn need to know about love and relationships for the month of February 2020? What is coming up for Capricorn in terms of love and relationships for February 2020? Okay, let's see what we have. The Seven of Pentacles, the Judgment, the Devil, the Ten of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles, the Emperor, the Four of Wands, the Seven of Cups, the Three of Cups, and the Ten of Wands. Okay, so at the beginning of this reading, you have the Seven of Pentacles. This is a card of waiting, and you've planted some seeds, you've started some things, and you're waiting to see where it's going to go, where it's going to develop. Maybe you're wondering about a relationship, if anything's going to come of it, if it's going to go anywhere. I feel like you've ended something in the recent past. And if you haven't, you're coming to that end because you have these two tens here. And this card is about putting down a burden, the Ten of Wands. You've been carrying a lot of responsibility, carrying a lot of heavy burden. But and that's probably because Saturn and Pluto have been in your sign for quite some time. So it's like trial by fire. Saturn is asking a lot of you, giving you heavy demands, heavy responsibilities, testing you in many ways. So you're probably working harder than you've ever worked in your life. And you have this Judgment card here. The Judgment card is about waking up, having a spiritual awakening or a sense of enlightenment or realization, where you suddenly realize, you start to see things more clearly and realizing where you need to make changes so that you can move ahead in life, so that you can get everything that you want in relationship, in career. The Judgment is about waking up to who you are, waking up to what your strengths are, making real changes within yourself. It's kind of like a rebirth. And I feel like that's what you're going through. A lot of you, especially because Pluto and Saturn are going through your first house. And Saturn demands that you see the truth and you take responsibility and you take action and you commit yourself to a path. And Pluto represents transformation. It's like raising up from the dead, raising up. So if you've come through a period where something might have been destroyed or changed, or a period of major changes, which when I get to these cards, you're able to rise above it and be reborn. And that's the nature of Pluto. It's transformation. It's like the phoenix rising from the ashes into a new life. And that's what this Judgment card is about. It's about realizing that your life is not going to change unless you take action. Your relationships are not going to change unless you make things happen. So if you're in a relationship where you're not happy, you have to take action to change it. Or if you're interested in creating a relationship, finding a relationship, you have to take action to make it happen. It's not going to just fall in your lap, because Saturn in Capricorn demands work. It demands commitment. It demands, willing to carry the load, really. Do the work, carry the load, take the responsibility, take the blame. But basically, carve out a plan, a solid plan. And you've been doing that. And so you've planted some seeds. And now you're saying, okay, we did the hard work, I've planted seeds, I've put my stuff out there. Let's see what's going to happen, what's going to grow. In the past, you have this Devil card and the Ten of Swords. So it's possible you could have been in a relationship with some that may have not been so healthy. Maybe it was like a codependent relationship. Maybe you were trying to save someone, or someone was trying to save you. Because the Devil card is a card where you feel like someone has power over you. Or you can have fear of intimacy or fear of commitment. The Devil is a card of addiction. It can be addiction, it can be fear, it could be passion. But it's like it's also some type of bond. Not so much in this card, but on the Rider-Waite deck. In the Rider-Waite deck, you have the Lovers, which is card number 6. And that's two people who give to each other. They're like soulmates, and they give their love freely and with no pretense. In the Devil card, the two lovers are still there and they're naked, but they're chained. And they're chained to their desires, they're chained to their passions. It's more of a bondage, like I'm in this relationship because I'm addicted to it, or I'm in this relationship because I can't break away. I'm afraid to break away. What will people think? Or I'm in this relationship, I just feel trapped, or I feel smothered. It's a different energy. It's like something has had a hold on you in the past. But you put an end to it, because you have the Ten of Swords here. So you're deciding, like, I'm not going to be in those types of relationships anymore. I'm not going to settle for an unhealthy connection. I want something that's beneficial to me. I want to give and take. I want to be with someone who's going to give back, not someone who's just going to take. Because the Devil can be a selfish card. Maybe you were involved with someone who was just a taker and not a giver. Or someone who didn't value your love or value you in some way. Or someone who was just afraid of intimacy, afraid of getting too close. But you have the Ten of Swords in the recent past, so you're done with that life. That cycle is ending, or it has already ended. And now it's like you're in this waiting period. Okay, what's next? And this had a traumatic effect on you. It had a transformative effect on you because the Judgment card is here. This is a card of making real change within yourself. Changing, realizing where you might have made decisions that weren't in your best interest, and realizing, okay, I need to change the way I approach relationship. I need to change the way I act in relationships. I need to change the people I'm around, or the nature, everything around me. Because everything that's around you is really a reflection of what's inside of you. So when you make changes on the inside, automatically you start attracting different types of people and situations. So you've released the need to be connected to unhealthy relationships. You've come through that cycle. And you realize, you say no more. With the Ten of Swords, you say no more. I'm not going to go there on that path anymore. I'm not going to give to people that don't have my best interests at heart, that are not capable of loving me back or giving back. So you're really, with the Judgment card, you're making real change. And you're on a new path with this Eight of Pentacles. Maybe you've taken a new direction in your career. Maybe you've moved away from a toxic work environment. And now you have new plans. You might even be looking for a new relationship. And here's the Emperor. Now the Emperor could be someone coming into your life. Someone who's very solid. This could be an executive. The Emperor is the CEO, the boss, the entrepreneur. Could be an ex-military person. If you want to look at signs, it could be Aries, it could be Capricorn, it could be Scorpio. But whoever this person is, you can depend on him or her. You can depend on the Emperor to be there for you, to be solid, to be steady, to help you build something real. And maybe even lead to marriage or some type of commitment and stability. But even you don't believe it because this is in your negative thinking sector. So you're kind of like, because of everything you've been through, you might be thinking, oh, that's not going to happen to me, or I don't know if that'll happen to me. Because Capricorn has a tendency to think, like, I don't want to hope for the best because I don't want to be disappointed. So I'm going to expect the worst and be surprised if something good happens. You can't take that. You can't have that mentality, especially in this environment that we're working in. Because the world is changing and we're ascending. And so our thoughts are creating our reality faster than they have in the past. So what you think is so critical to what becomes real. You have to keep your mind on the positive. You have to visualize the best outcome. You can't be cynical and suspicious and paranoid. You have to lose that. You have to lose the fear if you want to create a relationship with the Emperor. And also, this could be qualities within you that you have to develop. You have to take charge. You have to be like the Emperor. You have to raise your vibration. To be this person, you have to match this person. So you have to be someone who's willing to create. And you are. Capricorns are the best leaders, of the zodiac. Capricorn and Leo, a lot of the fire signs. These are the people, and especially Capricorn, you're a cardinal sign, you know how to start things, you know how to take initiative. But even more, you know how to get the work done. You're responsible, people can count on you. So because you're like that, you can attract that same energy. And here's this Emperor. I feel like you're going to be attracting someone who is very stable and very organized and very dependable. It's going to be different than whatever you were involved in the past, where maybe you were let down or you were attracting people who were weaker than you, who came to you for guidance and came to you for support, and you were constantly giving. Things are going to be changing. You're putting down that burden. Now, in your environment, you've got the Seven of Cups, so I feel that there are more than one option open to you. There's more than one option. So you have to choose. You might even be interested in someone who is trying to make a choice. Because it's a card of confusion, indecision. If you're interested in someone, they're probably sitting around wondering, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I want. So that's why they haven't come forward. But I feel like the Three of Cups is here. So there's going to be some kind of party or celebration or get together. And you might wind up meeting someone there, or you might be getting together with friends that you haven't seen in a while, because Mercury's going retrograde. Sometimes that can bring people back into your life from the past. But there is going to be cause for celebration, because you've made these changes. Because you're looking for something solid and steady and stable. Because you've let go of whatever was toxic, and you've stopped giving your energy where it doesn't belong, where it's not being valued or appreciated. You stopped wasting, it's like casting your pearls before swine. You made a decision not to do that. And with that decision and standing your ground and setting boundaries, you're going to start attracting people that are a better match for who you are and what you have to offer. And you have this Ten of Wands, which is about putting down the burden. You've been working really hard, Capricorn. Maybe you've been swamped with work or really trying to achieve a goal and you haven't had enough time to take care of your personal life. But that's coming to an end, because you have to make changes to leave room for family and friends and love. You can't be all work and no play. You have to put an end to that. You can't be addicted to your job or addicted to your work, where it's sucking the life out of you. You have to socialize and leave room for fun and getting together with friends and loved ones. Otherwise, you're going to be burnt out, and then it's going to affect your health. So put the burden down in February. Get out there and start connecting with people, networking, being more social. Because there's an emperor out there waiting for you. Male or female. A person who could be solid and steady and give you the kind of love that you are looking for and that you value. And you can have something that's stable and that will last. But you have to believe it. Believe it's possible. So let's see what the astrology says. You have a full moon in your 8th house and the sun is in your 2nd house. So it's the money axis. So something is coming to completion. You're learning lessons about resources and who you can depend on. The 8th house has to do with money that you get that's not your salary. So it could be an insurance payout, it could be a loan from a bank or some kind of funding that's coming in to help you. It could be your partner's income. If you're married, your partner could have some kind of financial windfall that helps. Or you yourself can have some money coming in that's helping you achieve a goal. And you've been working on trying to earn more money, your values are changing. Mars is going through your 12th house. Mars is favorable to this moon. So this is a good time for cutting away what's no longer serving you. Mars is activating your subconscious and all the blocks. So, if anything is hidden, if anything's been, you haven't been aware of certain things, the full moon will bring them into the light. And you're realizing, the thing about the Leo full moon, it's time for you to show who you are. It's time for you to have some fun. Leo's it rules the 5th house of creative self-expression, not being afraid to be who you are and to show the world who you are and your skills. Sometimes, Capricorns they worry about what other people think, and they're very reserved. It's like you really don't get to know a Capricorn until they're behind closed doors. When they're in their home and and they know you for a long time and they let loose and they get relaxed, then they can be a lot of fun. But when you're out in the world, you keep that straight. You want to be proper and you want people to think of you a certain way, and you're afraid to really show your more unconventional side or your natural side. And you have to do that now. You can't be locking yourself up and not releasing, not expressing your true self. Neptune and Mercury are in your 3rd house. So communication could be a little tricky this month because they're both in Pisces. Neptune can bring confusion when it comes to contracts, when it comes to anything that you're working on that involves writing, communicating. There could be, so it's very good. It's very important that you communicate clearly, get everything in writing. If you're signing any kind of contract or you're preparing a contract, don't leave any details out, especially because Mercury will be retrograding. There could be, a he said, she said kind of thing. But if you've got everything in writing, you got the emails, you'll be okay. But it's a time of communication. And it's a time of maybe connecting with people from the past, like relatives, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, and clearing something up. Maybe something needs to be reworked or cleared up or communicated. Sometimes when Mercury retrogrades, it brings people from the past back. Now, if you're working on a creative project, like a writing project, something where you're doing something creative, because Neptune and Mercury together in Pisces brings a lot of creativity. So you can really create something special and very unique right now, and very artistic, very spiritual. It's better for something like that, to use that energy for some art or music or writing project, than to use it for something mundane, like, a legal document or something, or some type of contract. You have the North Node is in your 7th house in Cancer. So there's going to be some fated things happening around partnerships, both business and personal. Saturn and Pluto, like I said before, are in your 1st house. So it's time for you to step into your power. Let people see what you're capable of. Don't be afraid to shine your light. Don't be afraid to let your true nature come forth. You're not going to disappoint. You need to show your leadership qualities. And I think that's going to be apparent at this full moon. And it could wind up making you money, because the full moon, if some financial, if there's some kind of financial thing in the works that's ready to be completed, it could come to completion right now. You could be completing some project that maybe that bears your special stamp or your energies, and you're going to get recognition for it. So then the new moon is happening in the 3rd house in Pisces. That has to do with, like, again, I said, relatives, brothers and sisters, communication. You could be starting if it's communication, you could be starting a new project that involves the internet, creativity, marketing, communicating, writing. Or you could have a new start in relationship with your neighbors, your friends, your family. Now, at this new moon, Mars will be coming out of your 12th house, where you might have felt frustrated and low energy. It's going to be in your 1st house by this new moon. So you're going to have the energy to really put yourself out there. You're going to feel this boost. It's like having a rocket behind you. So if there's anything that you need to start at this new moon that has to do with writing or creative self-expression or showing what you can do, now's the time to do it. And with Mercury retrograde, you might even be going back to a project that you put on the back burner and you didn't have time to do. And now you have time for it, and it's going to be good. You have Uranus in the 5th house. So unexpected developments around children, around romance, creativity. You might be meeting someone that you can actually get together and do some work on some project together, some creative project. Venus is in your 4th house. You might be spending time in February making your home beautiful, cleaning or decorating. You're feathering your nest, or you could even invite someone over to your house and have, love can show up at your doorstep. Now, Venus is squaring Jupiter. You have Jupiter in the 1st house too. It just moved into Capricorn in November, and it's going to be there for a whole year. So you are getting this benevolent energy for a whole year. So in spite of all the hardships that Saturn and Pluto have been bringing your way, Jupiter is a blessing. And it's going to give you opportunities and abundance. So don't be afraid to reach out of your comfort zone and take advantage of the Jupiter energy. You're going to be seen, you're going to feel more optimistic. Especially when Mars moves into your 1st house, you're going to feel like, okay, I can do this. And you're going to be putting a lot of energy towards something that's really important to you. It could be a relationship. It could even be a career goal. Maybe a little bit of both. But I feel like you're going to get out from, like you've been working too hard, Capricorn. And you've been neglecting your social life. You've been neglecting your friends and connections. And you can't do that. You have to schedule downtime. You have to schedule time. You have to have that balance, that work-life balance. But I think you're waking up to that with the Judgment card. And you're going to make time for that. You're going to put down the pen. And you're going to put down the computer. And say, okay, enough. I've done enough for today. It's time for me to get out and connect with people. Because you know what they say, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So Don't stop building your dream, but don't forget to play once in a while also. So this is my reading for February, Capricorn. I wish you much luck in releasing what no longer serves you and moving toward something that could really be a stable influence and a good influence in your life. So I want to say thank you. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you'd like to have a private reading, just click on the link in the description box and we'll get you on the schedule. In the meantime, I want to say thank you to everyone who has supported this channel by either liking or subscribing or watching and ordering readings. I really value your support, and I really enjoy reading the comments too, so keep them coming. And what can I say? Have a wonderful February, happy Valentine's, and I will talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.